Hi, I'm Jennifer Podemsky, and I wanted to just give you a little bit of an insight to us as Native people. We don't love land acknowledgements. We don't love listening to them, and we usually don't present them in our own ceremonies or gatherings. So I wanted to offer something special, and that is an action item that will amplify your work as an ally and bring more attention to the work that I'm doing at the Shine Network, which is a not-for-profit organization serving Indigenous women in the screen sector. So we've created a course, the first one of its kind in the world. It's a cultural sensitivity course for the Canadian screen sector, and it's available for free at the shinenetwork.ca. It's called PACT, and I would love for you to take it. And that's my land acknowledgement. This is an actionable way you can showcase your allyship.
Hey, Firecrackers, this is Naomi, and welcome to the Firecracker Department. All right, here we go. We have an amazing episode for you. I am talking to the one and only Mia Bella. Now, Mia is not only a singer, a dancer, a songwriter, and an actress. She also played my daughter on Popularity Papers. Oh my gosh, the sweetest, kindest person you're ever going to meet. And talent for days, of course. This is a bit of a different kind of interview because Mia approached me and said, I'm doing a school project. Can I interview you? And I was like, why don't we do a fun Mia mashup? So the first part is her school project, and the second part is a Firecracker Department interview. And I say the two of them together is magic. So here is my chat with my TV daughter, the one and only Mia Bella.
So my first question is, what inspired you to start acting?
Oh, okay. You know, I'm going to just flip these and ask you later on too. You know that. I bet it's the same thing as you. Like, I think it's, you know, I love performing so much. Like, I love the interaction with an audience. I can't remember maybe the first thing I ever did, just like, because I used to dance too. I don't know if you knew that. I
I don't
probably
think
told you a bunch of times, no, on set.
I
Almost
don't
too
think I
many
did
times.
actually.
Yeah, so I danced for like 10 years, like tap and jazz, no ballet, no hip hop.
Yeah.
So I love just performing. I think that was huge. And then my mom did theater. So as I grew up, yeah. So when she was doing like, she would do plays like Hedda Gabler. Do you know Hedda Gabler? It's like,
No.
okay, so put it on your list of plays to read, but it's an Ibsen
Okay.
play and another play called La Ronde, and she like did a farce, and I was always like a little kid, so I'd like go to her rehearsals, and then I'd fall asleep on the stage and have naps, and I'd be part of the whole thing. So to me, it was just like, it's just magic, right? Like the whole community and the people, like you'd have like parties where everybody's singing and dancing in the kitchen, and
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
a very different contrast to then my father's world, which was chemistry. So they were
Whoa.
not singing and dancing in the living room or the kitchen. What they were doing was they would get like a blackboard and start like doing chemistry in the middle of parties. I'm not even lying. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's
So I would
amazing.
say like that kind of thing. I get inspired from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
What about
Yeah.
you? Wait, I'm tagging in. What about you?
For me, it was like, yeah, same thing. I've just always loved performing. Um, I think the first thing that like ever kind of like hinted to my parents that I was gonna be a performer is like I was in one of those like baby jumper things and they would play music for me and I would just like jump like crazy.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's just honestly how it all started. I love music and that progressed into musical theater and then musical theater progressed into acting. So I've just always had a love of performing as well.
Were you singing before dancing and acting?
I was, yeah.
Yeah.
I started music and dance around the same time, and then when I was 7, I started acting.
Cool. So what was your first like musical theater show that you did?
Oh, I think it was Beauty and the Beast. I think I played like a little fork or something.
Of course you did. Of course you did. That's fantastic. Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you
was
have one of the most beautiful voices. I remember when we were doing popularity papers and you had to sing that song. And I wasn't even working that day, but I was like, I need to come and hear you
thank
sing. You've got such a gorgeous voice.
thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
touches my
so
heart.
much. Okay, my next question was, yeah, like, can you give me a little like overview of your acting career so far? Just like how old you were and like everything, just like an overview.
Okay, so I don't know. I think like what was the first thing? Like maybe when I was 7, because I would do like the little theater. My mom would do like Pinocchio. I don't even remember what role. I have to get out the old scrapbook. Here's the thing. Your parents are so supportive, like of your career and your passion. Like when you were like, I think I'm gonna sing, they're like, I'm gonna build you a studio.
Yeah,
Right? So
yeah,
my
they
mom did a little bit. Like when I was like, I want to dance, she put in like a bar in our basement so I could
oh,
have like a little dance studio. But then the basement kept flooding. So it
oh,
was like really gross and moldy and stuff like that. And I was always encouraging her to be like, you should start a scrapbook for me. And she was like, okay, all right, easy does it. So there's no scrapbooks. But Pinocchio was probably one of the first ones. And then I don't know what was after that. Like grade 6, I was in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Yes, I was grumpy,
oh,
if you were asking. Um, and then I don't know, like I kind of did theater and I did dancing through high school. And then
Mhm.
after high school, everybody was like off to universities, and I didn't know what to do about university, but I think I always knew I wanted to be an actor, but I didn't know that it was a safe career move, which
Yeah,
it's not. Like, who's kidding who? It's not like, you're not for sure going to work.
yeah,
But I think there was a turning point. Like, I remember auditioning for a theater school and
Mhm.
going like, I don't know. Like, I guess I was just scared. Like, I was scared to
Yeah.
make that commitment. And then I got into theater school and I called them up and I was like, can I please defer for a year? And they're like, no. And I was like, okay. And honestly, I hung up. I called back an hour later. I'm like, can I please get a teaching certificate with this so I can maybe do teaching? And they're like, no.
Oh,
So I was like, I'm just going to go to theater school. It's a real bold move. It's part of like, I knew it was part of my heart. It was something that I definitely had a passion for, but I was scared. And then in the first like week of theater school, I was like, I don't care. I don't care if it's the hardest life I've ever chosen. I just loved it so much. I just knew I was in with both feet.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah. But
I
you know it, right? Like you have that same sort of I was just older than you. How old are you right now?
I'm 15.
15. Yeah. So I was older than you when I went to theater school. I think
Mhm.
at 15. Yeah, I don't think I was confident enough to choose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great that you've like stuck with it and done like so many amazing things with it. I think it is such like an unsafe career choice and it's so like such a hard decision to
Yeah.
make, especially like for people who are just starting like after high school and it's like going into like theater school or like school for like on screen acting and it's just how do you know you're gonna make it? But
I mean, you don't ever though, right? Like what are your thoughts? I mean, you're sort of at a different place in your career, right? Because you're not, I wouldn't say you're just starting because you've had like great steps in your career. But what are your thoughts about the safety of it,
yeah.
like the choices that you're making?
I mean, I am sort of just starting out in my career. I've only been really doing it for like 8 years. Um,
Only. Okay. Only. Only 8.
well, I mean, when you think about it, in the
It's
grand scheme,
true.
that's not like a long career yet, but I feel like I have the confidence to continue, and this is what I love to do, and I'll do different aspects of it. I'd love to eventually get back into musical theater at some point, but I also love like on-screen acting, and I want to do music. So it's just I know that there's gonna be something that I can always like continue to do and make a career out of.
Yeah, that's really smart. I think like that's one of the best mistakes I've ever made. Not mistakes, but it's something I made without even choosing it, is to do a bunch of different things,
Yeah,
right? So that like you've got so many different talents so that you can still stay within the artistic community, but maybe you're not always going to do musical theater. Maybe you'll do a little of this, a little bit of that. I think
yeah,
that's
exactly.
really, I think that's really smart. I just didn't know. I think at 15, I was like, maybe I'll go into graphic design. maybe I know my mom was, I think my parents were scared for me too. I think that was
Yeah.
a part of it. Like they were
Yeah.
excited for me because they could see how much I loved it, but they were still like, well, maybe you have a backup.
Hmm.
Yeah. Do your parents talk about that at all with you?
Not at all,
No.
no. They're
They're like,
just
here's another microphone, go sing.
yeah, exactly. I'm really lucky. They're very like full on. They're just like supporting me all the way. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to have them.
Yeah. Super lucky.
Yeah. And on the topic of like just starting out
Nice.
your career,
Nice
um
segue.
what advice oh thank you. What advice would you give to somebody just starting out their career?
Yeah, advice. I'd say just do it.
Yeah.
I would say do the thing you want to do, but also live life. Do you know what I mean? Like you can get pretty, I mean, I see how hard you're working, and I'm sure there's times where you're like I gotta also expand my life and make sure you have a community. Like community
Yeah.
is really important, especially in our field. Like we can't do any of this by ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Like if you want to make an album, you still need people to listen to it. You still need maybe somebody to help you with the cover art or the mixing and all those things. So what are you doing to sort of make sure that you're living a full life and that also feeds artist, your artist heart too. So I would say do it, but don't put your head down so much that you're not aware of life around you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that that makes sense. I feel like you can get really, especially with the like entertainment industry, you can get so wrapped up in just trying to go like full on trying to make it and that you like lose, perspective of like
Yeah.
life that's happening around you and experiences you could be having with friends and family and
Yeah. Do you notice that with yourself? Because I know you work really hard. Like I think you're one of those people that when you have your eye on a prize, right? Like you're taking classes, like sword classes right now.
I am, yeah.
Wait, can you just tell me for a second? You're taking sword classes because you have a vision of what's the vision for you?
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be such a cool project to work
Yeah.
on. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it is hard to get like easy to get like wrapped up in
Yeah.
going like full force with everything. I feel like I do notice myself doing that a little bit. I don't necessarily leave enough time for me to hang out with friends or whatever, but also it's like when you want it so much, it's just nothing else really matters, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Do you notice like in your this sounds weird, but in your system when you're like, "Oh, I'm too obsessed right now." Do you know like when your head is down too much?
a little bit, but then also it's like there's like a part of me that's like this is just what you need to do to be
Okay.
able to like eventually just you can do whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
you eventually like might not have to audition and people will come to you for like work and then I can just choose my own hours when I'm making music and it's just
Right.
eventually I'll be able to have my own schedule and this is just kind of the work that nobody really sees that I just have to put in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard work, right?
It is, but
Yeah.
it's like you were saying when you have such a passion for it, it's
Doesn't
just
seem like work.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
burn out? Are you a burnout person?
Not really.
No.
No. No, are you?
Maybe I used to be when yeah, for sure. I used to be, and things would happen like I'd get sick or I'd do something like I'd hurt, like I'd go over on my ankle and I'd sprain my
Yeah.
ankle or something, and my body would be like, you slow down.
Yeah.
And now I can sort of see it a little bit better. Like I can see when I've had too many days in a row when I'm not. It's not even like, they say like self-care, and I don't even know what self-care is because it's something different for everybody. For some
Yeah.
people, it's like going to the spa. For others, it's like, being off your computer or going for a
Mhm.
walk in the park. But I can see in my system when I'm doing the same thing in a row too many days that I need to
Mhm.
be like, okay, shift it up, go for a coffee with a friend, go
Right.
see a play, do something that fills the tank back up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you feel that? Like the tank being
So,
empty?
yeah.
Yeah. What's a sign of that for you?
Ooh, I mean, I feel like especially doing school from home, I spend a lot of time online and like on
Yeah.
my computer and on my phone. So I feel like my brain just starts to get very foggy, and
Yeah.
I need to take like a step away and like go for coffee with a friend or take a walk. And yeah, I feel like that's a sign for me for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, because you're homeschooled too, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's full on too, because I mean your parents are so supportive of your career, and there's probably times where you're like, I don't want to do history because I'm working on this song right now.
Yeah,
And it's a
exactly.
constant like balance of the all. Yeah.
But that it's also been like a lot more helpful doing school from home because
Yeah.
then like a couple weeks ago I had 6 auditions and I just didn't do school for the week. And now
Yeah.
I'm just picking up the slack and I got to spend all that time on putting all my energy into auditions and it was great. I feel like it's a great option for
You're one of those
acting.
smarty pants, so you can just jump back into school. If I took like a week off school, I'd be like, well, I might as well miss the grade. You could just jump back in.
I mean, it's not like super easy. I have a lot of trouble jumping back into like math and stuff that
Yeah.
I like
I
aren't
found
the
math really hard too.
yeah, that aren't the like artistic parts of like English is like definitely a strong suit for me, but all the other ones it's hard to like jump back into for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you in? Like, can you start leaving courses or do you have to keep on doing everything right now still?
Just for the rest of grade 10 and then next year I think I can do 6 or 7 courses instead of 8.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah, because I don't have to take like gym or anything next year.
What's gym like for homeschool? Like, do you have to like go for a jog and then clock that you went for a jog, like selfie while you're jogging?
Sort of. It was
Really?
actually an interesting course. It was like more like health education. Um, but there were projects where I had to like do like a physical health challenge and I did like a hike and yeah, I literally had to take pictures like selfies of myself taking the hike.
Can you imagine like when they didn't have phones and things like that, how they clocked those? Like you would just go, "Oh, I went for a jog."
Yeah, and then they'd have to believe you.
They'd have to believe you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I think you're really driven, so that probably spills over to your schoolwork too.
I hope so.
What's your favorite thing right now in school? Like that you said English is really fun. Like what are you working on right now?
Um, I'm working on biology and science, and it's actually very interesting.
Okay.
Favorite subject in school.
Me, I was not good at school. That's not going to surprise you. Actually, I really liked business.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I really did. I liked like marketing. I liked talking
Yeah.
about brands and this like how brands come about. Um, yeah, I really find that really interesting. I
Mhm.
still do. Uh, math, not so much. Science, not so much. Um, I got by on like a lot of pretty title pages. Who's kidding who? Like I was really like not. But then and then writing. You know what I used to do is my mom would always make things fun. So she'd be like, "Oh, we're doing fractions." So we'd make like a cake, and she'd teach me fractions by cutting the cake into
Oh,
quarters and things like that.
love that.
Or money. She'd talk about monies and quarters and things. And then
Mhm.
so I started like changing. Instead of writing an essay, I remember my final business exam, I had to write like an essay about a business and how it was operated and like the structure and things like that. And at the time I was working at Yuck Yucks. Do you know Yuck Yucks? It's like a comedy club.
Mhm.
And I was waitressing. So I did the whole project like it was a stand-up routine. I interviewed my boss because I was like, I'm going to do something I like doing. And it was so much fun because it wasn't like, it's almost like you're not fitting like a round peg into a square hole. You're doing something that you still enjoy.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you do that too with like acting? I did also with ballet. Like everything was a ballet thing. Like all my
Yeah,
art projects were ballet.
yeah,
Oh my God, so much ballet stuff. Do you do
yeah.
that?
I do. Yeah, for school definitely. I was just working on a project recently that yeah, I had to do like for my careers course, it was like you have to like do a mock interview.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I kind of do this like pretty often. So I just did like a mock like audition and that
Yeah.
was really fun. Yeah, it was like a real audition and I just videotaped it and I did a little intro that was like, this isn't like a classic like job interview. This is like what my real auditions and callbacks look like.
That's so
And
cool.
yeah,
I
I
love
hope my
that.
teacher gives me a good grade on it because I worked hard. But
Yeah.
yeah, I that was really fun. I love like implementing that kind of stuff into school because
Yeah.
I think it's something different for the teachers as well because it's like they don't really see that stuff often, I feel
Yeah, and it's
like.
your passion too. I think that's good. Actually, I remember a kid in my class was so obsessed with becoming a doctor that everything he did was about like the ear or the nose. Like he would do a speech about different things every year was something about, and now he's like a full-on doctor.
Wow.
So I think like if you can connect with something that you
Yeah.
love,
Yeah.
that's the tricky part though. You're lucky that you found it so early because not everybody knows, what they really, really want to do yet. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Um, on the topic of business,
Come on, Segway Queen. Let's go.
thank you. Um, give me a little overview of like what the Firecracker Department does, because there's
Oh,
so many different things.
yeah. Let's see. So we started out as a podcast,
Hmm.
and that's been 5 years. So we almost have like over 200 episodes. And then now we've kind of like exploded. I actually don't know what to compare it to. It's almost like an amusement park with a bunch of different rides. Like one of the rides is like the writing department, where you
Hmm.
get workshops with Lisa Lafferty and events around writing. And we've got a partnership coming up with the Writers Lab New York and Female Eye Film Festival. And
Hmm.
then there's the mentorship department, and that ride is like focusing on people coming together to learn from each other. Veronica Martin heads that up, and it's a really enthusiastic, and it's a great way to sort of expand the community, and I love it. And then we have like the comedy community, the comedy ride, where there's a show every month, and
Hmm.
Stephanie McClarty makes sure that we have like a great overview of stand-ups and improvisers every month in Toronto. And yeah, and so I'm trying to think there's also Red Point, which is focused on women and non-binary folks, and um, focusing on aging in our industry. Not something you
Okay.
probably think about, or do you think about it? Do you ever think about like, oh, I don't get the roles I used to get when I was 9?
I mean, not really,
No.
but I do think about it for other people. I feel
Yeah.
like it is, I'm sure, a tough like, or not a tough, but like a interesting transition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting talking to your brain about this because it is something, you know, I think easier for my generation. It was harder for the generation before me, and hopefully it'll be way easier when you get here. But it's sort
Right.
of looking and seeing ahead and going like, why isn't there more like female and non-binary directors in our
Yeah.
community? Why aren't there more scripts where you see female and non-binary folks represented? So that's
Mhm.
sort of one of the focuses for one of our departments. Um, and then we have the art department. We do auctions.
Mhm.
Rebecca Waver. I'm sure I'm missing one of them. Oh, and then of course the podcast that Pau Carranza produces. So all these different things all support like taking creative action, which is another way of like just getting shit done. Like
Yeah.
let's do stuff. Like let's not talk about it. Let's just do stuff, which is something you're really good at. I see like the music that you're putting out. You're not just waiting for folks to be like, "Hey Mia, will you do this?" You're like, "I got stuff to do." But it's also a way of like coming together as a community. And you and I talked about this when we saw each other in Vancouver recently,
Good. Yeah.
because we're starting like a Vancouver chapter, because
Yes.
community to me is like, I don't know, it's what it's all about. Like, as I
Mhm.
said, you can't do this by yourself. And I don't really want to. Like, I want to do it with people. I want to have, like, do you ever get lonely because you're such a one-person band?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's great to have a community of like women and non-binary people in the industry because it's like I don't think we're like represented enough. And especially for me, it's um like teenagers. Like I don't know a lot of teenagers who are actors, so it's kind of hard for me to, relate on that level with like kids my age. So it's great to have like a community where there's other people in the industry who I can like relate to.
Yeah, I mean, it must be strange for you because you don't have like, and you don't have audition rooms either. Like there was a time that we'd go to an audition room and you'd be like, hey, it's all your friends.
Yeah, I
And
miss
now
that.
that doesn't happen either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you like audition rooms or self-tapes better?
Oh, self-tapes. Oh my
Really?
God. Yeah. You like going into the room?
I do.
Yeah. I liked going into the room for theater auditions because I always thought of it as a little opportunity for a one-person show.
Yeah.
And I really loved it. But I think that it's so compact, right? Like your audition is like this many pages, you have
Yeah.
one shot at it, good luck. And
Yeah.
in a
Sure.
self-tape, I can you know, I have
Hmm.
a little bit more space to work on it. So I don't know. I get my nerves get the best of me sometimes too in audition rooms, and that's just
Yeah.
like pooching myself.
Yeah.
But
Totally.
yeah, and it's interesting. I'm curious, like, what do you see as your future with aging into this industry? Like, if you see where you are right now in representation, because
Mhm.
I don't know, you look at the shows that are on right now, like I think there's like teens are represented in a way, and there's pretty strong female roles, I think, wouldn't you
For
say?
sure.
But
Mhm.
what do you think about as you age into it? Like what you want to do when you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70?
Ooh. Um, for like me, for my like personal career, I'd love to just keep acting, whether that be theater or film and TV, and I'd love to make music as well. But as I age, I'd love to do something to help like younger women who are just starting out and kind of like guide them. I feel like I can do a little bit of that already with people who are just starting out because I've had like a little bit of experience. I've had a few years in the industry, so I
Yeah.
feel like um yeah, I just love helping people and connecting with people, so I feel like I'd love to do something with that as
Yeah.
I'm getting older. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think also like we're all like mentors and mentees too. Like, you know what
Sure.
I mean? Like when I was watching you on set, I remember being like really like I learned so much just by watching your process too, because I think we do learn from each other. I don't think there'll be a time when I'm like, I'm done learning. Like I
Yeah,
think,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, for sure. The something like really interesting for me is I forget who told me this, but somebody was like, literally Meryl Streep still takes auditioning like acting classes.
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, how? Like she knows everything. Like if I can think of like the best actress, that is Meryl Streep for me. So I feel
Yeah.
like it's really interesting that she still takes classes and learns from different people. So I feel like we can all like take different things from each other and learn.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I take acting classes still. I love it. I
Yeah.
also love it because it's also like an athlete doesn't, do their game or run their race and then go, I'm done.
Yeah.
They're back in the gym the next day. So I do
Sure.
feel like our muscles need to be exercised. And if we don't, they're gonna get flabby. Our
Yeah.
acting muscles will get all flabby. Yeah. Are you taking acting classes right now?
Not currently, but I had like an 8-week course that I finished in early March, I think.
Yeah.
But I do just take them like on and off because I enjoy them so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
what do you think you got? What was the biggest thing you got from your last acting class that you just took?
Ooh. We did so each week was like a different topic. It wasn't like one big topic for like all the classes. So for one week we did like how to do movement for self tapes, which was really really interesting and really helpful because it was like how to pass out in a chair on a self tape,
Right.
how to get in a car crash on a self tape, and it's something that I would never think of like needing like a class on, but I was
Yeah.
like, wait, I'm doing this so weird when I
That's such a good class. I never even thought about taking
yeah.
a class. Like, how do you kiss on a self tape?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't like how does that work? And then yeah, one of the things was how do you hug on a
Yeah.
self-tape? Like I've just been doing this. Like
What did they say? How do you hug? What was their instructions?
it was more like I think it's just like you either drop it and just do like something like else sweet, like a smile
Yeah.
or like something just like this that's like,
Yeah.
you know,
The
you're
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I think it's sort of like you just, yeah, I think that was honestly what they suggested was just like a some different like self embrace sort
Yeah.
of smile, something to give the same emotion, but without having to like, oh my God,
Yeah.
good to
Yeah, because
see
that looks weird, right? On a
you.
self-tape that
Yeah.
you hug in the air, but it's like
Yeah,
an emotion like if you're like you're feeling it as opposed to expressing it, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It
What a
was a
cool idea.
yeah. Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
What else? Anything else you learned from your acting class? I'm gonna
Ooh.
take all your tips now.
Um, hmm. We did a workshop on eye lines, and that was very helpful
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
that's super helpful too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned is like if you're looking at your eye line too far away, it can like disconnect, which I feel like now I go back and watch some of my self tapes where I
Do you
was
really? You go back and look at old self-tapes?
sometimes, yeah, just for
It's very
like
brave. Brave, yeah.
um just for like, to for comparison, if I go back and watch something I did a couple months ago when I didn't like when I had my eye lines like 10 feet away from me,
Yeah.
it's like there is like I can feel a disconnect. Whereas now I have them like a chair,
Uh,
like that's like close to me, as close as a person would be.
yeah.
Uh, so it's more, even though I'm like connecting with a chair and a broom sticking out from that chair, then you know,
That's huge. Or your mom and dad?
yeah.
My
I mean,
gosh.
I'm not actually like a fan for self tapes of having like in person like
People?
eyelines. Yeah. What about
You'd
you?
rather have like an object than a
I
person?
would. I would.
I guess it depends on the person. I think I'd rather have a person because then I'm like I can see their eyes, I can
Yeah.
connect. But you're right. Like I think more often than not in auditions and sometimes on set, like you don't get a person. Like
Mhm.
that person's not available. I did a whole emotional scene with a tennis ball once, and that tennis ball
It's
gave me nothing.
ugh, horrible
Yeah,
actors.
horrible. Yeah.
Oh,
Their IMDb rating is really high, so I don't know what
yeah,
they're doing, but it's something's
yeah,
right. So I don't know. I would much rather have a person,
yeah.
but I don't know. What's it like audition? Because it's all your folks probably, right? Your parents.
It is. Yeah. Some scenes I'm like, girl, you can't be my eyeline for this.
Why? Because they're too intimate or something?
Like some of them is like, I don't know, like whenever I have like an audition where I'm like talking with like a love interest, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not gonna be doing this scene with my parents.
No,
I will have a broom on top of a
I
chair. Thank
get
you.
it. I get it.
But if it's like a scene where I'm like talking to a teacher or a
Yeah.
parent, or then I'll have them be my eye line. But I guess you're right, it does depend on the scene as
Yeah.
well.
And also, don't you find like your parents know you so well that
Mhm.
they also see like right through if you're not maybe as truthful in a moment
Yeah, for
or
sure.
like then you feel like completely exposed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find auditioning with my husband like that it's challenging because he sees all my tricks. He'll see
Mhm.
when I'm being real and when I'm not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Those are very good tips.
Trying to
Wait, so
think.
when you don't have, if you have like a scene that's like a love interest scene, do
Mhm.
you get somebody else or do you get your parents to read off camera or do you just,
I get them to read off camera and then I just
yeah,
like get at something else. I don't
yeah,
get those types of auditions often, but
no,
whenever I do, it's just like
no,
I'm
thank
not
you.
I can't like properly connect if I'm like reading with my parents.
Oh, I
No.
know it's challenging. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'd always opt for a person just for the eyes though,
Mhm.
because then they're at least like a human being. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think everybody's different.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I remember one time, this is just like randomly popped in my head on the topic of using tennis balls for like people. I was on a show and they had like different tennis balls for every person, and they actually had like little pictures of their face on it.
Oh, so all over they had like tennis balls everywhere?
It was
That's
like,
funny.
okay, we're gonna use this person's tennis ball because you're in this scene with them, but they're like literally just getting here. They're in hair and makeup, and they would put this tennis ball, and it had like their face
That's
on it.
funny. That's funny. I mean, I don't know. Well, there'll be some strange things we all do in our careers, and that's just one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
I think I just had one more question written down, which was, so you're very multifaceted. What are some of the proudest moments in all of your different career aspects so far?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's funny, I don't reflect back very often. I would say, I don't know. I feel really lucky that I've done the things that I've done, like being on a show for 8 seasons. I was really proud to be part of that Mr.
Yeah,
D group.
yeah.
Um, I remember actually going out for dinner with the cast, and we had just gotten picked up for season one, and I remember just looking around going like, this is a really exciting time. Like I felt really honored to be part of that time.
Yeah.
And then another one, proud moments. And then, I mean, with Firecracker Department, I'm really proud of watching how that's growing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the times I think I'm most proud is when I've shared the experience with a bunch of people, like the Mr. D or like Firecracker Department, or when Matt and I have created something that it's really a cool thing. Like I think that's those are the moments. Like I mean, especially with Matt, because we've been able to do so much together.
Mhm.
As in improv, we had a company for 10 years. We toured internationally.
Yeah.
And then we got to do we've done a couple of commercials together. We've been on a couple TV shows together.
Mhm.
And every once in a while these things will happen and I'll look at him and I'll just be like, look what we get to do. Like,
Yeah.
what a great life. I feel really grateful to have lived the life that I have so far and also like the things coming up. So,
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
yeah, I'm really proud of that. What about you? What are your proud moments in your career so far?
Um, Man, I mean, I definitely agree with you. It's about sharing the moments with like
Yeah,
people that you love and connect with. I feel like definitely um what you were saying about being on a TV show for like 8 seasons and just sharing all of that with the cast. I felt that about like Popularity Papers for sure because
yeah.
I feel like I like really connected with everybody on set and we're all like have stayed so close and like
It's
such
amazing. It's
yeah.
amazing how close the kids have all stayed. And even like our little WhatsApp thread, like it's vibrant. People are talking all the time. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
I'm really grateful for it. Because it's like, it's other kids in the industry and we can all kind of relate to each other, but it's I feel like I'm definitely very proud to be a part of such like a cool group of super talented, supporting, amazing people.
We're just going to take a little break from this conversation and talk to you about a fantastic sponsor we've got over at Firecracker Department. Don't worry, we're going to go right back. If you're like me, every once in a while, I just get stuck. I get stuck creatively. I get stuck with my career. It's usually when I end up organizing my spice drawer. But I just go through something where I either have too many ideas or not enough ideas, and I just don't know where to start. I got a friend for you. I mean, she's my friend, but she can be your friend too. Veronica Martin. Veronica works with successful people to create circumstances to unlock even more success. She works with people who are excited for their next challenge, to find deeper meaning and purpose and rich creativity in their lives. That's all Veronica Martin. She focuses on fractional HR support with small businesses, the coaching, but her passion is supporting women grow their power and creativity personally and professionally. I have to say personally, Veronica's the best. Anytime I feel like my brain is in a bunch of knots, I call Veronica and she says like 3 sentences and somehow it untangles everything. She's the best. I really, really encourage you to just give her a shout. Veronica Ann Martin Coaching and Consulting. Go see her website, veronicaannmartin.ca, and just start the conversation. I bet it's going to unlock something. And now back to the show.
Tell me how Mini Pops came about, because that was something that Glee was involved in. And
Right.
then how did that happen?
I think May talked to the producer Mike about having me open. I think she just pitched me to Mike, which was so sweet of her.
So
It
sweet. May's
was
Glee's mom.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, it was such a cool opportunity. All the mini pops are like the coolest kids ever. Um, yeah, it was really cool. I got to learn a lot from them because I haven't really done a lot of like live
Yeah.
performances. I mean, I've done like karaoke and like I've done
Yeah.
like recitals and that sort of thing, and I've done a couple performances here and there, but I haven't really done like one where it's like a concert.
Yeah. It was big too, right? Like that was a
Yeah.
huge
Yeah. Yeah,
event.
it was really cool. We got to perform at the Commodore, which also,
I
yeah, that's
saw,
like
yes.
my proudest moment so far because that's such like a iconic venue and I've gone to concerts there, and my parents in their like teens and 20s went to concerts there, and
Amazing.
yeah, it was really cool.
That's so cool too. What a thing for May to think about you for that and to like
Yeah,
so
I'm really
sweet.
grateful. Yeah, it was really sweet of her.
I think that's like when we are looking back to like what's advice about our career, but that's a pretty big one too, like not only pursuing your passion and practicing your art and your craft,
Mhm.
but also like looking out for each other. I think that's a really big part of it because
Yeah.
like you gotta be kind along the way.
Exactly. Yeah. I feel like for sure with the group from like Pop Papers, if we
Yeah.
ever we all have like opportunities to include each other in projects that we're working on, like
Oh my
we
God.
all will. I feel like we yeah.
You're
Yeah.
all gonna become like director, writer, producers, and I'll be like auditioning for you for like the grandma, the lady in the hospital bed on her last breaths.
I feel like Glee needs to become a
Oh
director.
no, she's a director already. She already is. Are you kidding me? Like when we were on set, she was like, she had ideas for things. You could
I
see
know.
she's such a smarty pants. Her brain
Yeah.
was working all the
Yeah,
time.
totally. You could definitely see the wheels spinning.
Yeah.
Even now, like when we're hanging out and we're just making like TikToks,
Yeah.
she's like directing the TikToks.
Yes, of course.
Girl, let's get you on a set.
I love it.
I,
I love it.
I
What about you?
know.
Do you think you'll direct? Does that interest you?
It does, but I don't feel like I would be very good at it. I feel like I'd be more like do whatever you feel, which
Right.
isn't the direction because I'm not a fan of when directors tell me to like do that.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
very I need like I I need them to tell me like I need you to do this.
Yeah.
Like thank
Be
you.
specific. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
be
Yeah.
specific. But you know, I'm open to branching out into all different areas of like film and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll get Glee, maybe producing. Maybe like Glee
yeah.
will direct, Anna will be writing, you'll be producing,
Mhm.
and I'll audition. I'll do craft services. I'll be like, would you like apples and peanut butter? And you'll be like,
Yes.
absolutely.
I think my mom should do crafty because
Oh
she's
my
like,
God, yes.
oh my God,
No, but
literally.
your mom could be in the acting world too. Both your
Oh my
parents are
God,
so
totally.
gregarious and yeah.
I my dad and I keep telling her she should be like a showrunner because she's so like organized and just
Yeah.
she's very good at conveying information. So I feel like she'd be really good in the industry for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
hmm Yeah. What
Yeah,
about
that's
you?
interesting.
Have you
What's
ever like
that?
have you ever like tried directing and
Yeah,
that sort
I
of
have. I've directed like Friends web series and things like that. I'm a little bit more on the page that you are, which is like wanting to direct like from an acting perspective as opposed to what lens is that I'm doing what this
Yeah.
guy I don't that doesn't interest me as much.
Yeah.
I also think directing is really hard. It's really
Yeah.
involved
Yeah.
and I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say no to directing, but it's not necessarily I would direct my own thing. Like if I have a vision for my
Yeah.
show that I was like, "Oh, I really know how I want it to look,"
Yeah,
then
for sure.
I think that might be a different kind of thing. Like would you direct your own like if you wrote a short film or something like that?
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, if it was like my own vision, I wrote something or and then it comes to like producing it and I feel like I would want to direct
Yeah.
that. Um, but otherwise, if it was somebody else's vision, I'd be worried that I was like doing it justice and like being able to direct the actors
Right.
properly. And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's the trick too, is like getting on the page of like, so the writer hands it over to the producing company, and then the producing company has to get on their page, and then the director has to get on that page so that everybody's on the same page with the vision. But it always changes. Like
Hmm.
it always shifts. Like I'd be curious to hear from the popularity papers team of like how it evolved from
Yeah.
like what their vision was at the beginning to what it ended up being.
Hmm. Yeah,
Do you
that'd be
remember,
really
do you remember when you got the role? Like, because I know you worked really hard for that role. It wasn't like, maybe you worked like how many auditions did you have for
it
that
was a
role?
lot of auditions. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was like two callbacks and three chem reads and one audition. It was a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah, yeah. What was
Yeah,
it? How was it for you? Were you like, because that was your first big thing, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah. Had you
yeah.
done anything before that?
I had. It was the biggest thing I had done before that was a Disney show. I had like a recurring role in a Disney show, which was really cool. But yeah, that was a really fun show to work on. But this is the biggest thing I've
Yeah.
done in general, I feel like. But yeah, the auditioning process was definitely a little stressful. Uh,
Yeah.
it's because also I feel like the process gets more stressful and more and like harder when you want the
I
role
know.
more.
I
It's
know.
like if I could do something more to get this role, I would literally do anything. But it's like you can't. All you can do is like send this video into like the
I
casting.
know.
But um
How are you with rejection? How do you take rejection?
I feel like I take it like very well,
Yeah. Did
actually.
you always like, I mean, in your long career of 8 years, did you always? I'm up
uh
and down. Like I'm up and down. Sometimes I'm like, okay, that one's not for me. That one's not for me. And then other times I'm like, I packed my bag. Like I was
literally.
already on the plane going to the place and I'm really like disappointed.
Yeah. I feel like most of the time I'm like what's meant to be will be, move
Yeah.
on. But if there's something that I am like, I really, really want this, like recently I've had a couple of those where it's like, and also the filming location too, for me
Yeah.
is very is like an important detail
Yeah,
because
of
when
course.
I moved to Toronto, I loved it so much and I want to travel and I feel like if there's a cool filming location, I it makes me even more excited.
Yeah.
So it's like that's definitely a letdown
Oh
as
my
well.
God. Where have you traveled much with acting?
I haven't. No, Toronto was the first
Toronto is
time
a big deal.
I ever
Oh
moved.
man, if somebody said, "Can you come to Toronto and shoot something?" You would be like on the plane so fast.
So fast.
So
I love
fast.
it. I
Yeah.
love it.
You'll come back. I got
I'll,
great news for you. Toronto's not going anywhere.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be back at the end of the month for
Oh, right. CSAs. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
we
We
got
gotta
to do like
figure
a
out.
reunion.
Yeah, yeah. We can have a party here. We'll do like a reunion party at my place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that
We
would be so
just apples and peanut butter. That's all I'm gonna serve.
apples and peanut butter, and then we can do the self-portraits again.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be
That
fun.
would
I
be
still
so
have
fun.
them. I still have mine up.
I think
Yeah.
yeah, I still have mine too. Yeah.
So
But
fun. Yeah, we should. So
yeah.
then what do you think? Like what are your like you're gonna get on oh my God, I've already forgotten the name. Percy. Percy McGee. That's not
Percy.
it. What's the show called?
Percy Jackson.
Percy Jackson. So you're gonna get on that show at some point because you're working your butt off. And what's another thing? Do you think you'll steer more towards like musical theater? Is that an option over there in Vancouver?
Um, it's not really. It's more, I feel like theater is definitely more Toronto since it's closer to New York. But the big goal is eventually to do Broadway. I have like two like dream roles. I'd love to play
Tell me.
Sophie from Mamma Mia is like one big one, and then
Yeah,
Regina George from Mean Girls. I feel like would be really cool.
amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I'd love to do Broadway eventually, but I feel like right now I just want to focus on TV and film and music and
Yeah.
just kind of establish my career from there. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're sort of like a Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I played her mom too.
I know.
Okay, so just saying, we're all in the family.
I know. That's what I keep saying. Like we're
Yeah.
basically sisters.
Yeah. Because because she's a lovely actress and she also has this amazing music career and producing and yeah, she can do anything.
Yeah, she's great. I'm such a fan of hers. I
Yeah.
recently, like, I watched her stuff from Coachella, and that's like such a big goal for me as well. Um, and I feel like it was Coachella this year was so cool because it gave newer, like, up and coming artists more of a chance. Like,
Yeah.
Quine has been in the game for so long, but she's just now getting to like the pop stardom that she deserves. I
Yeah,
feel
she's
like,
wildly talented.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's talented. And then also one of my other like favorites, Renee Rapp. I don't know if you know
No, tell
who she
me.
is, but you should listen to her stuff because I feel
Okay.
like you like it. Um, but yeah, she performed at Coachella, so I think it's great that they're giving like the newer like big artists the platform, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you writing? Are you writing a new song right now?
yeah, I'm writing
Can you
lots.
tell me anything about it? What's your inspiration behind it?
Oh, I feel like it would kind of,
You
I
don't want to
mean,
talk about it. You don't want to let it out of the bag, maybe.
I'll tell you for sure, but I
Okay,
feel
it's being
like
recorded, so
yeah.
I'll tell you, but nobody else.
But nobody else. I feel like it would kind of give too much away a little bit,
Like
but
before it's launched, you mean?
I'm kind of like writing it about like it's like about an existing storyline already.
Okay.
So after we stop recording, I'll tell you
Okay,
all,
you'll tell me. Okay,
I'll
I
tell
love
you all
it.
about it.
When are you
But
launching it?
um, no clue. It's still
Okay,
in
so you're just working on it right now. You're like
yeah, yeah.
it's percolating. Okay,
It
when
is.
we stop recording, I want to hear all about it.
I will tell you all about it.
What about your last song that you released? How'd that go for you? Because that was like your first big single that you put out there.
Yeah, that was really cool. It was definitely a really good learning experience. I feel like now that I've released a song, I kind of know more where I want my artistry to go.
Yeah, tell me. What
Yeah,
did you learn?
ooh, like I definitely learned a lot about the production aspect and how to like produce a song. Um, so that was really cool. I've
And
always
the
been
video. You did like a accompanying video
yeah,
too, which was
that was really
yeah.
cool. That was really fun. Yeah, I feel like something like that would be cool to direct. Just back on that topic.
Yes.
I have talked to Glee about like directing my music videos.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that
You
would
know, a
be
lot of directors start out with music videos.
mhm.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. I feel like that would be really, really fun, like a really fun collaborative project. But yeah, I learned a lot and um it's like yeah, it was really cool to learn more about the music industry because I don't really know anything. I know like lots about acting, but not really music.
Yeah.
So that was really yeah, it was really cool to learn. I think, yeah, now I know more where I want my artistry to go, and I know the direction where I want to take my songs and how, like, the timing of when I want to release, like, more.
Right.
Eventually, I want to release, like, a EP in the next couple years, which would be, like, the dream.
Yeah.
That would be fun, but
But you can do it all. Like you have like amazing equipment, and you can make your own films and things like that. You've got such yeah, power at your fingertips.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting for
So
sure.
that's your next project is more in the music world?
I feel like, yeah, but also I love acting, so
Mm.
I just, whenever a project comes up that I like I'm lucky enough to book, then I'm very excited to go and do that. I miss it.
Yeah. What about
Yeah.
writing? Are you writing anything? Are you writing
Like
anything where you're the daughter and I'm the mother? I'm just telling you you should, but yeah, go on.
I haven't really been writing
No.
like screenplays. It's been more music stuff,
Yeah.
but I feel like that kind of also translates with music videos and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
I'd
Yeah.
love to I'd love to have like a music video eventually where I can just bring all my friends into it.
My
That
God,
would
wouldn't
be
that be fun? Have like a have a popularity papers reunion like on your
that's
film. That'd be so fun.
that'd be so fun.
I
So
love how y'all kept in touch so much. That's a real special group, that cast.
it is, yeah. I think we're all really lucky to have found each other because
Yeah.
we all keep in like really close contact, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I literally just talked to Millie the other day. We were texting
Yeah.
about dresses for the CSAs. We were sending each other in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Do you know
Yeah,
what you're gonna wear?
I do.
That's so fun.
It's been so fun. I'm very like into fashion.
Yeah, you are.
It's been
I
really
know. I
cool.
felt like that was such a big thing, like during popularity papers, that every day I'd see you and be like, "Do you like what you're wearing?" Because you could tell when you didn't, and then you
Yeah,
just don't feel like, yeah, you don't feel like it's you or it's the character, and yeah,
yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
And then when you did wear it, you were like, I love. I remember. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was that little, like it was a little sort of vest with a shirt underneath it, and it was like maybe orange, and I'm like, do you
Oh
like
yeah,
this? And you're like, I love it. Like you're just
yeah.
beaming. Yeah.
Mhm. And then the purple Converse too were my
Oh, of
favorite.
course. Yes,
That
given. Yeah.
unfortunately don't fit me anymore, but
Yeah.
still have them. They're such like a cool keepsake.
Let me wrap up with my firecracker questions. These aren't fast, but they're just the same that I ask every episode.
Okay.
So fill in the blank. To me, a firecracker is
Ooh. Hmm. I want to say empowering.
nice. You're right. Yeah, this is the thing with these questions. You can't be wrong. What do you want to be best known for?
Ooh. I think something about just like helping people in some way, whether that be with them connecting with my music or the characters that I play, just being able to help people and connect with them and make them feel less alone, maybe.
Yeah, I love that. Why do you think art has that capability? I think you're absolutely right, but why do you think that that is possible with art? Because I'm with you. Like I'll watch something and I'll connect with it, that it'll hit my heart. Why do you
Mhm.
think?
I think it's just every song, every show, every movie has is created by real people, and it's everything that's like created is out of, like real like life experiences that
Yeah.
somebody has experienced. Maybe it's not yours, but you had to get the inspiration from somewhere. So I feel like it's your experiences are never just your own. So I feel like it's everybody has had the same experiences at some point. So I
Yeah.
think it
I love that. Like relatable.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. What's something that people don't know about you?
I don't think I've ever been asked this question
Hidden,
before.
maybe a hidden talent, maybe like something that, yeah, you got something.
Okay. Not necessarily a talent, but I'm very like double jointed. I have very double jointed hands. Like I
I
can
didn't know.
pop
Oh
my
yeah.
hand back onto my
Barf. Oh, barf. Barf.
I can bend like all my fingers
That's
back.
why your nails don't drive you bonkers, because you
Yeah.
don't even know. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a good one. What do you think? This is a tough question, maybe, but what do you think your favorite mistake has been?
Hmm. My favorite mistake.
Because I don't know if I believe that actually mistakes are mistakes. Like I think
Yeah.
they're opportunities, right, for learning, or like some people say,
Sorry.
like life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. So the
Yeah.
mistake isn't an obstacle, it's a gift.
Yeah, I
So has there
totally.
been something that you kind of like, oh, that was a mistake, quote unquote, but actually it was a gift?
I mean, I feel like as I've been learning with like music for sure, in whatever live performance settings I've been in, I've always been very nervous about, like messing up the chords that I'm playing on my piano.
Yeah.
But I feel like that kind of stuff now I'm like willing for that to happen because it's just such a great learning opportunity. And you're like, if you mess up, then it's also a way for people to connect to you as well. Like
Yeah.
if you mess up or you do something that's kind of like I don't know, like a little silly or embarrassing, then it's more relatable and people can connect.
That's so interesting. So you said you're sort of willing mistakes to happen so that you can, that's so great though. Like there's so many people that are like, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake. That's so good. You're getting
I'm
good at making mistakes.
I feel like I can be, yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's not easy, but I hear what you're saying. That's cool. Okay, what is something that you haven't done, but you know you have to do in your lifetime?
I have always had an obsession with Paris. Ever
You
since
really
I was
have. Oh my gosh.
oh,
I've known you for this long, and this is all I know about you is you love Paris.
I do. I love it. Ever since I was like, I think I was 7 years old when the American Girl doll movie. I don't know. Do you remember American Girl?
Yes, yes, yes.
So actually, Olivia Rodrigo, who I'm such a big fan of, she's so cool. She played Grace, the American Girl doll, who is a
Okay.
baker, and she goes on. Does she go on a trip to Paris? I believe she does, and then she competes in MasterChef Junior. And I've always been so obsessed with Paris since that movie. Like my seventh birthday was Paris themed. My mom built an Eiffel Tower cake,
Oh my
and
gosh. But
I've
wait, have you
never,
gone yet?
never. So that's something I know I have to do. I have to go to Paris and I have to go on the Eiffel Tower. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you
Also,
ever?
yes. Do you know what? I lived there for like 5 months. I know. I took a clown class in Paris.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I took a clown class for 5 months and it was so exciting. I was 21
Mhm.
and it was the best. I learned so much. And it
That.
was so, I was way in over my head. I was like living by myself, trying to navigate my way through Paris by myself. Do you speak French?
I do, yeah.
So you gotta go. Obviously, your parents don't love you. Otherwise, you would have gone by now.
No, we were supposed to go in 2020, I think, for yeah, I think like my parents were always like the year you turn 13, we can go. Because then it's like I'll
Lies.
get it more, but 2020, man.
All right. All right. Hear this, parents. Best advice and worst advice you've ever gotten.
Oh, I mean, I've gotten a lot of great advice. I'm just trying to think of what has really stuck with me. I think best advice is that I've gotten is just do it for the like enjoyment, do it because you love it. Um, don't do it if you don't love it. And I think that applies to everything, but especially with this industry because it is difficult to
Yeah.
navigate and I feel like if you really love it, you should just do it because you love it.
Yeah.
Uh, and then worst advice I've gotten. Hmm, this is hard.
Remember that teacher that said that thing that one time that you were like, that's baloney.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean,
You don't have to give names.
ooh, I feel like I've definitely been told for going in when auditions were in person
Mhm.
that it's like just get out. Um, which is kind of not the great advice
Yeah.
because if you're there to audition for a job, you want to go in and take up the space and the time and the room that you need. Um, yeah, I feel like that was not great advice.
Yeah. Great. I like that. I like that. What makes you feel powerful?
Ooh. Um, I think what makes me feel powerful definitely is when I have like a community of supportive people
Mm.
around me, um, who are empowering me and supporting me and lifting me up. That really makes me feel like I can do anything.
Yeah, me too. You too.
Mm.
Final question is advice. I'm gonna say usually it's advice to your younger self, but it's like you are the younger self. So I'd be like advice as a baby. But do you have advice that you wish you had given yourself early on?
Um, I I feel like I took things very personal early on.
Yeah.
I remember one role specifically was, did you ever watch the show Series of Unfortunate Events?
No.
It's a really good show.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
really cool show. I think that you would like it. It's with Neil Patrick Harris.
Okay. Yes.
And he's like phenomenal in
Yeah.
it.
He's
Um,
extraordinary.
yeah. So I auditioned for, I was like obsessed with like obsessed, and I auditioned for a role in the final season, and it was down to me and one other girl, and they
No
went like
way.
a different way. And obviously like I didn't end up booking it, and I took it very personal. Um, and I shouldn't have, because it's nothing to do with my acting ability or, like how good of an actor I was. I just wasn't right for it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that maybe people need to learn a little bit, me included, like just
Guess what?
because
Me too. But guess what?
yeah.
Me too now. Like, I feel like that's a lesson you're constantly learning in life and in this business. It's really
Mhm.
good
Yeah.
because it's not it's not about us. There's so many other factors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
How do people find out more about you? How do people follow what you're doing, your music, everything else?
Ooh, okay. Well, my Instagram is at Mia Bella S Official, and that's the same with my YouTube. And then my TikTok is Hey Mia Bella, and my Spotify is just Mia Bella.
Mia Bella.
Mia Bella.
I love talking with you so much. This has been such a treat. Every time I've seen you in the last little while, it's been too short. And this has been so fun just to hang out with you. What an absolute treat. I just think the world of
Thank
you. You're gonna like move mountains, lady. This is really exciting.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. And anything I can do, I'm in your corner forever and ever.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. This has been so much fun.
Now, if it sounds like we're having a really good time, I mean, we really are, but if you want to see it with your own eyes, go to our YouTube channel at Firecracker DEPT. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all the things you do. And you're going to catch some of our favorite moments with our guests. Now, this is exciting news. We have just launched Firecracker Department in Calgary. That's right. So if you're in Calgary or you know some firecrackers in Calgary, make sure you reach out to us. The department there is led by Susan Sorreo, and I have to tell you, based on the people involved, it is going to be an amazing community of firecrackers. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter to find out what's going on in Calgary and how to get involved. Our podcast is hosted and produced by me, Naomi Snieckus, and Pau Carranza. Our editing team are Jennifer Rowley and Jana Oconnor. Copywriting is done by Rebecca Gismondi. Video and graphics manager is Aislinn Paul. Jody Quine is our website designer. And Angela Murdoch is our socials manager. Big thanks to our actioneers, Veronica Martin and Pau Carranza.